Good day, folks, and welcome back for another episode of the Westside Fighter Friday Talk Show. I'm your host, Clay Booker, and today we're going to be welcoming another very special guest who is joining us. This guest built his first suit in a cave, turned scrap metal into cutting-edge armor, and somehow made walking tank with jet boots look stylish. He's got tech, he's got firepower, and he's got more upgrades than a video game character. If you haven't guessed already, it's time to welcome Iron Man.
Thanks for having me, Clay. I don't do many talk shows, mostly because I tend to break the furniture.
Sure thing, Iron Man. It's great to have you here on the stage today.
Now, before we begin, let me run a quick perimeter check. Jarvis, status report.
Scanning the studio and surrounding area. Scan complete. No threats detected. No intruders. No hostile entities. No gods, demons, robbers, muggers, or otherwise suspicious individuals.
Good. Last thing I need is a surprise visit from a Norse deity during a talk show.
I see Jarvis is some kind of AI assistant whenever you need to go out and fight crime.
Jarvis is basically my second brain. He handles diagnostics, targeting, flight stabilization, and occasionally reminds me to drink water. He's the reason I don't fly into walls most of the time.
Correction. You have flown into walls exactly 3 times, sir.
See? This is why I don't let him talk during board meetings. But yes, Clay, Jarvis is the assistant who keeps me alive, keeps the suit running, and keeps the world from falling apart. Think of him as the world's most overqualified intern.
Awesome. I have a couple of assistants called Copilot and Siri.
Copilot and Siri, huh? So you've got 2 AI assistants on standby. Look at you, Clay, running your own personal command center. Jarvis, take notes. Clay's got a whole squad.
Noted, sir. Though based on available data, Copilot appears significantly more conversationally adaptable than your suit's onboard systems.
Great. Even the AI is complementing other AIs now. This is how robot uprisings start. So tell me, Clay, how do you juggle 2 assistants? Do they get along? Or do they fight over who gets to answer your questions first?
Good question. I only talk to Siri to set my alarms so that I can wake up in the morning. I also talk to Copilot so that I can come up with great ideas to create new weapons or things. I also talk to Alexa to turn off my bedroom light.
So let me get this straight, Clay. You've got a whole AI pit crew. Siri handles your wake-up calls. Alexa handles your lights. And Copilot handles your weapons development. Jarvis, are you hearing this? Clay's basically running a 3 AI Avengers team.
Indeed, sir. Though I must note that Copilot appears to be the only one assisting with advanced engineering tasks.
Yeah, that tracks. Siri wakes you up, Alexa tucks you in, and Copilot helps you build the stuff that could blow a hole in the wall if you sneeze wrong. You know, Clay, most people use their AI assistants to set timers or play music. You use yours to brainstorm new weapons. That's honestly kind of awesome. Jarvis, remind me to keep an eye on Clay's workshop.
Already monitoring, sir.
Alright, Jarvis, Clay's got 3 AI assistants, a weapons workshop, and apparently a morning routine more organized than mine. What else are you hiding from me?
Very well, sir. Initiating Clay Booker Profile Protocol. In the heart of Westside, where discipline meets destiny, one fighter rises above the rest. Clay Booker, the towering 6'5" Taekwondo guardian, forged by the teachings of Master Lewis, Mr. Andrew Breeze, and Master Kim. A fighter defined not by comfort, but by challenge. A protector shaped by injustice, sharpened by adversity, and driven by heart.
Okay, that's already cooler than my origin story.
He carries speed, strength, agility, and commanding presence. But his true power lies deeper: identity, purpose, warmth, resilience, and heart. His arsenal spans traditional weapons, modern tech, detective instincts, musical creativity, and a protector's style built on reading opponents, controlling distance, and manipulating tempo.
Detective instincts, musical creativity, and weapons? Clay, are you sure you're not secretly applying for my job?
His feats tell the story of a warrior who refuses to break, endured pain and pressure, adapted to senior fighters, battled faster, stronger opponents, maintained discipline under fire, turned losses into evolution, earned 16 belts and multiple certificates, became a symbol of leadership, clarity, and strength.
16 belts? I don't even have 16 suits that still work.
Clay Booker is not just a fighter. He is a force, magnetic, visionary, noble, compassionate, fiery, and unshakably brave. A protector of people, a defender of the misunderstood, a champion of the picked on, a lion-hearted guardian of Westside.
Wow, Jarvis, remind me to hire whoever wrote that.
You wrote my dramatic narration subroutine, sir.
I'm a genius.
One more detail, sir. Clay recently defeated a jiu-jitsu fighter named Shane during a house sparring session.
Oh? A Taekwondo fighter beating a grappler? That's not easy.
Shane possessed 3.5 years of jiu-jitsu experience and 1.5 years of boxing. Clay countered with superior strength, adaptability, and cross-training in kickboxing, Krav Maga, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and Kenpo concepts.
So Clay out-muscled the grappler, out-thought the boxer, and out-adapted the pressure. That's impressive.
Indeed. His back mount defense was smooth. His improvised armbar attempt was commendable. His strategic mindset allowed him to maintain control.
Translation: Clay walked in with Taekwondo and walked out with bragging rights.
Yes, I did do that. Anyway, what have you been doing days before the show?
What have I been doing before the show? Well, the days leading up to this appearance were a little busy.
Sir has been engaged in several activities over the past 72 hours. Allow me to summarize.
Oh boy, here we go.
43% of his time was spent performing suit maintenance and recalibrating repulsor output. 21% was dedicated to updating global threat monitoring protocols. 14% involved repairing damage from an incident involving
Jarvis, don't you dare.
A malfunctioning toaster.
In my defense, it looked like a hostile drone for a second.
Additionally, Sir spent 6 hours optimizing the flight stabilization matrix, 3 hours testing a new microthruster design, 2 hours attempting to teach himself guitar, and 1 hour watching Taekwondo sparring footage, specifically of Clay Booker.
Okay, fine. I was doing research. You beat a jiu-jitsu guy with cross-training and YouTube. I had to see what the hype was about. And I'll admit it, your back mount defense was clean. The lift was impressive. And that armbar attempt? Bold move. I respect bold. You know, Clay, most fighters stick to one style. You didn't, you adapted, you learned. You mixed disciplines. That's how you beat Shane. That's how you earned 16 belts. That's how you became the lion-hearted guardian Jarvis keeps bragging about. Warriors like that? I pay attention to them.
That's great. All right, Iron Man, I would like to wrap up today by answering you 5 questions, and you'll think of the best answer for each one. Are you ready?
5 questions. 5 categories. Clay, you're really putting me through the Stark Industries obstacle course today. All right, hit me. I'll answer each one like it's classified intel.
Sir is prepared. His ego is also fully charged.
Jarvis, don't start.
What's the most advanced piece of tech you've built that the world still isn't ready for?
The most advanced piece of tech I've built that the world still isn't ready for is something I call the quantum echo drive. Imagine a device that can predict the next 10 seconds of physical motion by reading micro vibrations, heat signatures, and environmental shifts. Not time travel, more like time anticipation. With it, the suit can dodge before the punch is thrown, fire before the missile is launched, and move before the danger even exists.
Correction. The quantum echo drive predicts outcomes with 87.4% accuracy. The remaining 12.6% tends to result in unexpected acrobatics.
Yeah, that's why it's not public. The last thing I need is someone doing a backflip into a vending machine because the tech misread a sneeze. But when it works, it's the closest thing to precognition humanity has ever built. And trust me, the world is not ready for that.
What moment in your life made you realize you had to become a hero?
It wasn't the suit. It wasn't the fame. It wasn't even the first time I flew. It was the cave. When I was captured, I saw what my weapons were doing to the world. I saw people suffering because of things I built. Things I thought were helping. Things I thought were protecting. That was the moment, right there. When I realized I wasn't the hero in my own story. I was the problem. So, I made a choice. Not a dramatic one, not a cinematic one, a simple one. I decided that if I walked out of that cave alive, I'd spend the rest of my life fixing what I broke.
And you have, sir.
I try. Every day. That's what being a hero is. Not perfection, not power, just choosing to do better than you did yesterday. And from what Jarvis told me about your life, you get that better than most.
What was the hardest fight you ever had, and what did it teach you?
Clay, that's a question every hero dreads and respects at the same time. Hardest fight, not the flashiest, not the most cinematic. The hardest. The hardest fight I ever had wasn't against a villain. It wasn't against aliens. It wasn't even against a super-powered monster. It was against myself. Every battle I've fought, every drone, every suit killer, every world ender, they were tough. But none of them were as hard as facing the man I used to be. The arrogant one, the reckless one, the one who thought consequences were for other people. That fight, that's the one that nearly broke me. And it's the one I still fight every day.
Self-improvement is an ongoing process, sir.
Exactly, and that's what it taught me, Clay. That being a hero isn't about winning fights. It's about choosing to be better than you were yesterday. Even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. And from what I've seen, your discipline, your resilience, your ability to adapt, you get that. You've lived that. You've fought that same fight.
What's something people misunderstand about you the most?
Clay, that's a good one. And honestly, it's one I don't get asked enough. What people misunderstand about me the most is that they think I'm just the suit. They see the armor, the tech, the explosions, the upgrades, the flashy entrances, and they assume that's where the heroism comes from. But the truth is, the suit didn't make me a hero. It just gave me a second chance to try to be one. People think I'm confident all the time. They think I'm fearless. They think I'm untouchable. But underneath all this metal, I'm just a guy trying to fix the mistakes I made and protect the people I care about.
Sir's internal data supports this statement.
Thanks, Jarvis. Really subtle. But yeah, Clay, The biggest misunderstanding is that I'm some invincible machine. I'm not. I'm human. I mess up. I learn. I get back up. And I keep going. And from what I've heard about your life, the discipline, the resilience, the way you protect people, you know exactly what that feels like.
And question number 5 along the lines. After seeing my fighting footage, what do you think my greatest strength is as a warrior?
Clay, your greatest strength isn't your kicks, your power, your size, or even your technique, though all of those are impressive. Your greatest strength is your adaptability. You don't fight like someone who memorized a rulebook. You fight like someone who studied the world. You take Taekwondo, add cross-training, sprinkle in YouTube research, and somehow turn it into a style that's uniquely yours. When you fought Shane, a trained grappler with years of jiu-jitsu and boxing, you didn't panic, you didn't freeze, you didn't crumble, you adapted. You used strength when you needed it, technique when you could, and instinct when everything else fell apart.
Clay's ability to adjust mid-engagement increases his effectiveness by an estimated 63.4%.
Exactly. That's what makes you dangerous. Not just what you know, but how fast you learn. Most fighters stick to one style. You evolve. You read opponents. You change tempo. You control distance. You think on your feet. That's the mark of a real warrior. And honestly, if you ever decided to build your own suit, I'd be worried.
Well, in that case, that about wraps it up. It's been great having you here, Iron Man. Is there anything you would like to say to our audience before we close?
Before I go, Clay, yeah, I've got something to say. Look, the world's a wild place. It throws curveballs, villains, bad days, broken tech, broken plans, sometimes even malfunctioning toasters. But here's the thing, you don't need a suit of armor to make a difference. You don't need repulsors, or flight stabilizers, or a billion-dollar workshop. You just need one thing, a reason, a purpose, something worth fighting for. This guy right here, Clay Booker, he's proof that heroes come from everywhere. From Westside gyms, from tough childhoods, from places where people learn to stand up for others because nobody stood up for them. So if you're watching this wherever you are, remember this, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to keep getting back up. And if you ever feel like you're fighting alone, trust me, you're not. Clay, thanks for having me. You run a heck of a show, and if you ever need backup, you know where to find me.
Stark Industries will forward Clay a contact card, sir.
Perfect. Just don't send him the toaster incident report.
Preparing stage for maximum theatrical departure.
Westside, stay strong.
Thank you for attending today's broadcast. Stark Industries reminds you to keep your hands, feet, and personal belongings away from active repulsor exhaust.
Tune in next time, folks, for another episode of the Westside Fighter Friday Talk Show.